The internet has been on fire lately. Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, all exploding with controversy. The player base is split right down the middle, with two camps ready to tear each other's throats out. And it's all because of one story, one character, and one final choice in the latest quest. We are of course talking about Phrolova. Get ready because this video is full of spoilers for the latest update. Hey everyone, you finally got it! A new video on Wuthering Waves. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this. So, the new update just dropped, and I hope you've all heard the noise. The main character of this patch is Phrolova, and her storyline took up a huge chunk of the new plot. We're used to gacha game stories following a pretty standard, well-worn path. They give us beautiful characters, simple motivations, and a clear line between good and evil. But every now and then, something comes along that shatters the mold. After finishing the new quests, many are calling Phrolova's finale a total failure, and our protagonist, Rover, a soulless villain. They say the developers at Kuro Games dropped the ball, creating something cruel and unjustified. But I'm here to argue the exact opposite. This is not a failure. This might be the best thing to happen to storytelling in gacha games in a long time. And today we're going to break down why the hate towards Rover is a deep misunderstanding of his character, and why Phrolova's story is a tragic masterpiece. But before we dive in, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. It's a huge motivation to create more videos. Thank you all so much. Okay, let's start with the main problem, the epicenter of all the hate, our protagonist, Rover. To understand his actions, we need to internalize one fundamental thing that so many people seem to ignore. The current Rover and the Rover from the past are two completely different people, at least for now. Blaming our Rover for the actions or promises of his past self is like blaming a grandfather with severe dementia for debts he incurred 100 years ago. Our hero is a blank slate. His amnesia isn't just a plot device, it's his defining trait. He woke up in this world with no idea who he is or where he came from. The only thing he has is the experience he gains right here, right now. This is a crucial point because we, as players, experience the story alongside him. We don't have memories of the past, so just like Rover, we're forced to judge characters based on their present actions, not some foggy history we're only given hints about. Now let's look at the situation through his eyes. He meets Phrolova. Who is she to him? She's not some girl from a hazy memory. She is a high-ranking official in the Phrolova, the most notorious and dangerous terrorist organization in the world. Her hands are stained with blood. Her organization is responsible for countless death and destruction. Why on earth should he trust her? Throughout the entire quest, Rover doesn't act like a heartless monster. He acts like a survivor in a hostile world. He's cautious, he's suspicious, and he has every right to be. Phrolova herself understands this, which is why she makes so many concessions trying to win his trust, because she knows he has zero reason to believe her. And the culmination of this misunderstanding is the scene where Rover sees their shared memory and begins to doubt its reality. I've seen reactions online where people call him a fool, an idiot, a traitor for this. Seriously, you find yourself in the mental landscape of a terrorist who just tried to trick you? You see something that contradicts everything you know, and your first reaction shouldn't be suspicion? And then, literally a minute later, his suspicions are proven 100% correct. Phrolova was about to trap him in that illusion forever. His caution is what saved him. He acted completely logically, based on his experiences in this new life. Now, let's talk about Phrolova herself. And before we go on, let's be honest. Her story is an absolute undiluted tragedy. It's heartbreaking. The loss of her family, the loneliness, the despair, all of it makes us sympathize with her. When her musical theme, The Lost Beyond, plays at the end, it's hard not to feel a lump in your throat. I'll perfume your dreams. I, like many of you, probably even shed a tear. We all felt her pain. This is a story about a child who lost everything and was left utterly alone. Her grief, her longing for home, these are feelings you can't condemn. They turned her love for her village into a religion, her sole reason for existing. And this twisted, necrotic love became her driving force. She is a victim of circumstances, a broken soul desperately trying to piece together the fragments of her past. But tragedy is not a justification, and this is where the main flaw in the arguments defending Phrolova lies. People say she became this way because the past Rover broke his promise. But that's only part of the truth. The broken promise wasn't the cause, it was the trigger. It was the spark that ignited a bomb already planted in her soul. Her true enemy, her cardinal sin, is her obsession, her fundamental inability to let go of the past. She refused to accept her loss. She wanted to bring back what can never be returned. And for that goal, she was willing to do anything. In psychology, there's a concept called the moral event horizon. It's the point after which a person commits so much evil that returning to a normal life, to repentance, is no longer possible. And Phrolova crossed that horizon a long time ago. Let's ask ourselves a simple question. To become one of the leaders of the Fractsidus, how much blood did she spill? How many lives did she destroy? How many villages just like her own did she help annihilate? She's a hypocrite. She clings so desperately to her memories, her connections, her pain. But why doesn't that empathy extend to her victims? They had families, friends, memories too. But to her, they were just collateral damage on the path to her grand ambition. She became the very monster that once took everything from her. And this brings me to the finale, to that one choice that sparked so much rage, the moment where Rover lets her sink. Many saw this as an act of pure cruelty, but it's not. In 99% of gacha games, we would have gotten a scene where the power of friendship wins and the villain repents at the last second, washing away all her sins with tears. We would have saved her and everyone would live happily ever after. But Kuro Games took a different, much bolder and more mature path. This wasn't murder. It was a conscious choice not to save her, a choice made after desperate attempts to reason with her. Rover saw her pain, he sympathized with her, but he also saw the truth. Phrolova was too far gone. She wouldn't stop. She would continue to kill and destroy until she got what she wanted or died trying. And in that moment, Rover makes a choice. It's a horrifying, morally gray choice, but it's the choice of an adult who understands that sometimes to save the many, you have to sacrifice the one, even if that one stirs your sympathy. It's in this moment that Rover stopped being just a player avatar. He became a real character, a character who isn't afraid to get his hands dirty, who is capable of making difficult, ambiguous decisions. And this is an incredibly brave move from the developers. I'll admit, I rarely get emotional over fictional characters, but when Phrolova's theme started playing at the end of the quest, that melancholic, soul-crushing melody, I felt something real. This wasn't just a sad story, it was a masterfully told tragedy about how pain can turn a victim into a villain. Damn it, Kuro, you did it. You made me feel real emotions. And you know the best part, the story isn't over. Phrolova isn't gone. As they tell us, she has merged with the beyond. She exists in her thoughts, in her own world, and Rover can feel her presence. This means this is not the end. It's just a to be continued. Rover, both past and present, will have to face the consequences of his actions. He will have to return to her. Maybe not to save her, but to finally get some closure, to truly face his past. Phrolova's story is an example of bold adult writing that isn't afraid to ask tough questions and doesn't give easy answers. It's a story that respects the player's intelligence, and as painful as it was, I'm grateful to the developers for these emotions, because these are the stories that stay with us forever. So, what did you think of the new quest? Do you agree with my analysis, or do you have a completely different take? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to read your thoughts. Thanks for watching to the very end. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Peace out!